Welcome to Future Role Model, a podcast that praises the unconventional and redefines what it means to be a role model.
Whoa,
and
professional.
Thank you. And I have today in the studio Brady Matthews.
Thank you.
I always feel like your name sounds like a pro football player.
It could be. I mean, you're probably thinking like Tom Brady.
Yeah. But whenever I say Brady Matthews, I'm like, is that really a comic name? That feels like a quarterback name.
I mean, I didn't play quarterback in high school. I played strong safety and kick return.
Well,
I was the fast white guy.
Just so we can recap what just happened for the last 2 hours. So Brady and I hadn't done like a one-on-one hang. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Hung out in groups and stuff. But
like most comics.
Yeah. But that's kind of the thing that I like to try, and I like to have like one-on-one time with people. And so I hit up Brady and was like, before we podcast, let's get drinks at noon. This is 1:30 on a Saturday right now, currently. And
that's usually when I start anyways. So,
right?
Yeah.
So
podcast or no podcast.
We had like beers and micheladas already before this.
Yeah.
And so I actually heard the story of your football career and why it ended.
Oh God.
And that it was one of the best reasons for quitting football that I have ever heard.
Well, it's such a bitch. It's such a bitch thing to do. But like, should I explain it?
Totally. Yeah.
Oh, I played at a D3 school in Wisconsin, which like, why if it's D3?
Which school?
Like, Carthage College.
Okay, that's definitely D3.
Have you heard of it?
I know Carthage.
Well, anyways, it was kind of a shithole. Well, back then, now it's really nice, but I was playing. It was like sleet out. It was seriously -10. We were practicing. It was like a Monday. We're all hungover, and I remember I'm like, God damn, it's so fucking cold. And I was on a scout team, which means basically I'm like Rudy out there for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We're nobody on a D3 school. That means you shouldn't be playing football, but whatever. I loved it. And this 400-pound lineman basically steps on my big toe, and I was on the ground. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen Family Guy where Peter stubs his toe, and he's like, oof. Oof. I mean, that was me, and it was just sleet coming down on my head, and it was like you could hear it on your helmet, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And I got up. They go, Matthews, get the hell out of here. And I got out and I ran to the sidelines, and they go, where are you going? I said, I'll be right back. And I ran to the locker room, took my helmet and pads off, went up to my dorm room, and I never came back. Ever. That was it. I was done.
He got his toe stepped on, and that was the end of his football career.
I got my big toe stepped on. It hurt
he was like,
so
fuck
bad.
This.
It hurt so bad. Because you said you hit your knee.
I hit my knee today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm such a pussy when it comes to that, but like your shin, as does your toe, doesn't have any cushion. So when you smoke it, you're like fucking on the ground for a minute.
Right.
But when I heard that story, I was like, this is amazing.
Oh, it hurts so bad.
It saved you from 80 concussions probably in your lifetime. The fact that you had just one really bad toe incident and you decided to stop.
I feel like from doing comedy, I now have worse PTSD.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know.
Perfect transition into comedy. Like everything was smooth after that.
See, I know what I'm doing.
So you've been in LA.
This camera here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the camera, I mean, this is anybody that is listening to the podcast or does listen to the podcast. Eventually, we're going to put out all the videos from every episode that we've shot.
Cool.
They're not released yet. So me and Brady are going to make sure to make a lot of like love eyes to the camera. So when you do eventually watch this podcast, you'll feel it. You really feel that weird tension of us not connecting in person, just staring at the camera.
Yeah, like we're doing Sunday Ticket, like we're doing the Red Zone right now.
But Brady, you grew up in the Midwest, and that's what we had kind of originally bonded over, the fact that we were both Midwesterners. In Chicago, right? Born in Boston, but in Chicago.
Born in Boston, raised in the suburbs of Chicago.
Suburb of Plano?
No, that's Texas.
Oh,
yeah. That's all right.
That's
the beers
right.
are talking. That's fine.
That's where your family is now.
That's fine.
No, but there is Des Plaines. That's what I was thinking of in Chicago.
Well, no,
there was a plane something in Chicago.
There is Des Plaines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where the hell that is. Like, even I have friends that I went to college with. They're like, I'm from New Trier. And I'm like, I don't fucking know where that is.
I don't know a lot of the suburbs of Chicago, to be honest.
Right. That's like when people are like, oh, you're from Chicago? Whereabouts? And I'm like, do we even give a fuck? Because I guarantee we don't have mutual friends.
No, not.
But
in Wisconsin, there's always mutual friends.
Yeah, because it's so cold. Everyone's inside, so everyone knows everyone.
Every time I've met somebody from Wisconsin, we all know the exact same people.
Have you ever been to a house bar?
A house bar.
A house bar.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I tell people that, they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, bars in the house.
Yeah, like you walk in and like the dad's watching TV in like a recliner. And they're like, Paul, You got customers. And he's like, fucking shit.
Those are I've been to one in Wisconsin.
That's where they're all at, basically.
Yep. And then there was one in Chicago. There used to be a mic at a house bar in Chicago.
Right.
Do you remember that mic?
I don't. No. See, I didn't do stand-up in Chicago. I didn't start stand-up in Chicago.
You didn't start until you came out here?
Yeah. But I grew up in a small suburb in Chicago called Crystal Lake.
You grew up in Crystal Lake?
Yeah.
That's where my fiance's from.
No shit.
Yes.
Well, we were just talking about how no one knows anyone.
We didn't talk about any. Wait.
And
so
he
did. He's
did he go to Crystal Lake South?
He's Justin Schwan. He went to.
When did he graduate?
He graduated in 2003. Oh. Because that's when I graduated.
I wonder if he knows a couple of the kids. I'm totally put my foot in my mouth.
What if this whole podcast is us just figuring out who he knows that you know?
I guarantee he does.
100%. He went to Prairie Ridge.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We used to play them football all the time. That's so
this
crazy.
This is amazing.
But our football team sucked. And Prairie Ridge was like kind of like a new school when I was back in 98.
He was the QB and he dated a cheerleader.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I told him his early life was very stereotypical. And I'm like, thank God I came in and fucked it up for you. Because otherwise you would have been so boring and fairy tale.
A QB dating a cheerleader. Like what else?
Yeah, just a cheerleader with like brown curly hair. I'm sure she was very nice.
I'm sure I bet she had really high bangs.
Oh my God. Did you ever date cheerleaders? Were you a cheerleader guy or no?
No, not really. I didn't want a girlfriend at all in high school, and I didn't want a girlfriend at all in college because I was just basically a hoe.
I was the same way.
Yeah, I just didn't want anything for a while until I hit like my late 20s, I guess, is when I started like dating serious. But
yeah.
I don't know. I was just having fun.
Yeah, even then, even when I hit my 20s, it was when I was more in the open to the idea of a relationship phase.
Right, which is hard because you're like, wait, I have to show them love? Like,
yeah.
I have to call you back?
I didn't even know what that meant.
Totally.
Like because we had talked at the bar earlier, but when I met my ex in the Caribbean, that was the first time somebody was like, oh, I love you. I'm going to move to your city for you. And I was like, oh, that sounds really nice.
You're like, yeah. Okay.
And then quickly realized that love generally means I might not work for 4 months and I'm going to gain 40 pounds.
Basically,
and
yeah.
play Nintendo while you work.
Totally.
That's what love was. When I first realized that, I was like, maybe I don't need love for a while.
Yeah, it's terrifying because then you're like, wait, I have to give you my heart and soul and you might crush my life.
Yeah, it was very, very strange experience.
Yeah.
So when did you leave the burbs? Did you move to you lived in the city in Chicago for a while, right?
Yeah, I went to Columbia College in Chicago for a year, and I got on the dean's list for improv and
really
theater.
They had a dean's list for improv?
No, it's because I took so many fucking easy classes. I got straight A's, and I was like, what am I doing? It was just such a waste of my parents' money. I felt so bad.
I wanted to see like a dean's list, like an actual list where it just says like best clown, and it's like you.
Wait, did you get Did you get any senior superlatives?
I don't even know what that is.
It's like best looking.
Oh yeah.
Funniest.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What'd you get?
So I got most fashionable.
Okay.
And I got worst car.
What did you have?
I had a Ford Aerostar extended length minivan with red racing stripes.
Jesus. How did you get that? Did you just trade like a basket of fruit to somebody?
My mom was trying to get me to not get laid. And you know what? It just didn't work because it was...
Guys don't care if you show up in a shopping cart. We'll still fuck your ass.
Here's the thing. And like whenever you have your first embarrassing moment, it defines who you are. And I had many of them young, and I had to figure out how to make bad moments cool.
Right.
And
play it off.
So when I got the shitty car, I was like, I'm going to make this the coolest fucking car.
Yeah.
And it was like we called it the Beast, and everybody partied in it.
Sure.
And
everyone smoked cigarettes.
You could hook up in it. 8 of us would be in there at any given time.
Yeah.
There was always cases of beer in the back.
That's dangerous.
Nobody ever pulled us over because I had like a little soccer mom sticker on the back.
Hilarious.
And I could run. I got in all the accidents that I've gotten in my life were in the first 6 months of my having a driver's license.
That's terrifying for your parents.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we used to have a Jeep Cherokee and we have to share it. And our like we'd smoke so many cigarettes in this thing. Like the ashtray was always filled with cigarette butts, which is disgusting. Mm-hmm. But one thing, you know how you used to have to wait in line to everyone get into high school? You had to wait to get in. And we used to take the plug that, you know, the windshield wiper fluid on the back of your car. We used to unplug it. And so when it was like -5 out, we used to squirt it on the cars behind us. So it would freeze their windshield wipers and it would just freeze their windshield. And they'd be like, fuck you, dude. And we thought it was hilarious when we're playing Tupac and Biggie. We're like, who gives a fuck? Smoking weed before you go in.
You're so badass.
Oh, totally.
Like, oh my God. We used to do that in my van too.
Yeah.
We smoked so much weed. We would, and I was a straight A student too,
Yeah.
but nobody knew. I would leave at lunch break and we would go on cruises.
Sure.
We had this one lake cruise that we used to take, and it was one of the funny, because it was this long cruise. It was around the lake, and it was just a semicircle the entire time, and we called it the Never Ending Curve.
Love it.
And every time we went around it, we were so stoned, and we'd be like doing the radio announcer voices, like, and we're entering the Never Ending Curve, and we'd be like,
you're in NASCAR.
Yeah, and
coming around
like
corner 2, 11, car 11. Here we go.
And we're like drinking beer. We thought we were so hard.
Yeah.
And I remember the summer that Eminem's album came out, the Eminem show.
Oh, sure.
We were smoking joints and cruising to Eminem and also Avril Lavigne, because those were the two hot albums.
You gotta mix it up a little bit. Yeah. As you go through your CD book.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I remember my last year of senior year, I did mushrooms, which I don't recommend for anyone.
In school?
In school.
No,
And I'm sitting there at study hall and I'm like, God, these mushrooms are not kicking in, because I guess you can't do mushrooms 2 days in a row. I don't know. I don't do them anymore, but they didn't start kicking in, and I had study hall, and it was like 7 period. We had 8 periods, so I'm sitting in study hall, and I'm like, man, these things are not kicking in. And I had to go home right after high school, or right after school. I'm sitting there, and boom, they hit me like fucking crazy. Like I was tripping balls. I was looking at the carpet like this, and it was going like this. It was like patterns, like those posters you see at the mall.
Or like the magic eyes or whatever.
And everything just started moving. And my sister looks at me and she goes, Brady, we got to go. And I go, where? She goes, we got to go home. She goes, we got to go home. I go, Heidi, I can't go home. She goes, why? I go, I'm on mushrooms. She goes, what? You're on mushrooms? And I was like, yeah. My buddy thought I was hysterical. So I had to go to my buddy's house and chill out for a little bit.
What were your senior superlatives?
I got best looking, class clown, and best dressed.
Oh, you did get best dressed.
I did.
So we were like twinsies on that.
Basically.
We had the weirdest ones too, because we had obviously we had the traditional like most fun at parties, blah, blah, blah. But we also had best butt.
Oh.
Best butt was one.
See, I don't think you could do that now.
I don't think you could.
Not in this Me Too movement. There's no way.
And they like, and one of my good friends got it, and both of them, obviously, we were all friends. There was like 100 of us. It was Wisconsin, and they had the picture, and they had to like show their butt, not their actual butts.
Oh, you can't do that now.
Out, but yeah.
I wonder what senior superlatives are now. It's probably like most trans neutral, non-GMO, grass-fed.
The most PC.
Yeah, the most lax, you know.
Best at being vegan.
So good at high fives.
Oh, the world has gotten so boring.
Yeah, it sucks.
So when did you start? You started comedy when you moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I started doing stand-up at 25. And it sucked. I used to do Bruco. Do you remember Bruco?
Yeah.
UCLA?
Yeah.
And I went there and there was this guy, I think his name is Vince or Vance, whatever. If he's listening, go fuck yourself. Fucking jag off. And you used to have to go through this hat and like pick your thing out, and like he would try to like go up and rip on you and whatever. And I quit at 25 and then I started back up at 27 and I did michelada. I'm burping michelada up.
Delicious.
Really great. And then I did Uncle Clyde's comedy competition.
Oh yeah,
at the Ice House, and I won it by like I have no clue. Like I went up against Ben Kronberg.
Yeah,
he's super funny comedian. Like the guy's legit hilarious. And I went up and did like some dance move about how my mom dances at weddings. It was so hacky and cheesy and shitty, and I won it.
Shit.
And then so you win like $200, and then you go to the Seattle comedy competition. And I ate shit every single night. I had like maybe 5 minutes of material, if that. It was brutal.
How long was your set at the Seattle competition?
Well, you only had to do like 6 minutes. And I went up and I was grasping for straws by like 5.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I didn't even know what crowd work was.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was so brutal.
Oh, that's the worst.
And I would call my mom every day. She's like, how's it going? I'm like, 3 more days till I'm home. Yeah, so, and then I just went on from there. And then I was answering phones at the Comedy Store after that. And I made it my goal to get my name on the wall, you know, and it took forever. But if it weren't for Louis Anderson, I probably still wouldn't be passed.
Yeah.
So he got me passed, which was cool.
What made you come out to LA from Chicago? Like, why didn't you end up starting in Chicago?
I don't know. I was doing modeling a lot in Chicago.
Yeah, we got to talk about that because my fiance, again, another Crystal Lake boy, did the same thing. And we were just looking through his old pictures because he was home and taking pictures over the holidays of like all his old Shopko ads.
Sure.
And it just cheesy, man. That shit was so funny.
Oh, I had sideburns in most of mine. Yeah.
What were your big modeling gigs?
Oh, big ones. I did Abercrombie, which was cool.
Everybody did Abercrombie.
That was my goal.
Like, everybody wanted that one.
I mean, I dieted like crazy. Like I would have friends come over to my place, smoking weed, drinking, smoking, and I'm in the kitchen making chicken breast and vegetables. Like they're like, you're really not going to drink. We're going to the Cubs game. I'm like, I was eating rice cakes and putting tuna on them and during the game, watching the game while everyone's fucking wasted. And I'm like, nah, dude, nope. No way. I want to fucking be in that magazine. And that was it. Yeah. And it paid off, which was great and whatever. But then I found out that to make money, you got to do like commercial stuff. You got to do like, I was doing like stuff for like Costco and I was doing stuff for like, you know,
the print ads.
Yeah. Just random stuff. And that's where you made good money. Like I was doing billboards for like shipping companies. Mm-hmm. And that's where you made, you know, good money. So, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want to fucking do this anymore. And then I moved in with my parents in San Jose when I was 22. And then moved to LA when I was like 25. And then I did like Playhouse West. And I was like, this is terrible.
When you were doing the modeling stuff, did you find stuff funny? And did you start writing about it? Is that like what made you think about starting to do comedy? Or like, was there...
I mean, kind of. I'll tell you, I did an ad for Walgreens. And the warehouse was cold. And so I had to go behind this girl and we're posing like we're looking at a present. And she told the guy that's taking the pictures that I was poking her with my dick. And I'm like, what? And he goes, can we tape it down? I go, tape my dick down? I'm like, dude, it's fucking freezing in here. I'm standing on concrete. I'm like, so I had to tape my fucking wiener down because she felt uncomfortable. And I'm sitting in fucking stupid
and you're like,
Christmas
this is
boxers.
all uncomfortable.
Oh my God. I was like, that's it. I'm like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
And then I came out to LA and I did some print stuff out here and, you know, it paid the bills here and there, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, backtracking to high school, because these are stories that I love to talk with about people, especially from the Midwest. Yeah. Because like I had Nate Craig on a couple episodes ago and we're both from like southern Wisconsin region. Right. And we have both been like in run-ins with cops so many times that we probably know all the same cops. It's just really funny at that point.
Probably. So, I've fought a couple of.
Yeah, you did? Yes. Okay, because these are the stories that I really like to get because this is what my childhood was like. Like I was a good kid, but I also was like dealing with cops like every 2 days. But like I'm not trying to sound hard. Like I was Wisconsin cops. Totally. It wasn't like I was in the hood. But yeah, like did you ever get in trouble for anything like?
Oh my God.
Yeah, let's get into that.
All the time. We used to throw parties at my place in Lake. We lived in Lake in the Hills. I went to Crystal Lake, and we used to throw parties, like crazy parties. Like we'd have 100 people in our basement because my parents had a bigger place in Boulder Ridge. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, no, I know because my mom's best friend used to live in Lake in the Hills. Okay. And that's how I ended up meeting Justin. Okay. Yeah.
So we used to have like literally 100 people in our basement. And I remember one time my buddy, everyone was lighting off fireworks. And the cops come up and they go, you guys lighting off fireworks? I'm like, what? Like, no, dude, we're not lighting off fireworks. And they're like, what's that Roman candle doing right by your foot? So I got taken to jail for that. Yeah. For lighting off fireworks while my parents were home, and they didn't think my parents were home. And then I call my mom from the jail and I go, hey, I'm at jail. And she's like, I thought you were downstairs.
Oh shit.
So, and then another time, I used my brother's fake ID to get into, do you remember a bar named Dirty Nelly's?
No.
Okay, it's some shitty bar.
Was it in
Crystal Lake?
Yeah, I didn't go.
And we go there, and bartender took my ID. And when they take your ID when you're 18, that's like your fucking baby. You know what I mean? That's like someone taking your phone.
Yeah.
And he took my ID, and I was so wasted, I just punched him as hard as I could, which made very little dent. And he put me in a chokehold.
Worst choice.
And then threw me in the back of the car. And I called my mom again, and I was in jail. So
yeah.
Yeah. So after that, we chilled out on the booze and stuff. But
yeah, you chilled out and ate rice cakes for a while.
Basically, yes. Yep.
I wish that was what I had chosen to do. Well,
eat rice cakes?
Yeah, I mean, not the rice cakes thing,
Sure.
but when I was in high school, like basically my first 2 tickets were underage drinking tickets.
Uh-oh.
So, but in Wisconsin, when you turn 17, you don't have to, you qualify as an adult.
Sure.
So they don't call your parents. So once I turned 17, I was like, oh, I can keep getting these. I farm. I make money. Like I can pay the $63 to like have fun.
Totally.
If these cops want to bust
17,
us.
most people at 17 in Wisconsin have like 3 jobs, 2 mortgages, 15 kids.
Well, and to me, drinking tickets were an investment in stories.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. You're always a glass half full kind of person.
I was like, I'm going to invest in having a story to tell that will eventually be something that I'm proud of.
That you can, make fun.
Exactly. So then I just kept getting, God, I got so many drinking tickets.
Did you go visit any of your friends at other colleges?
Yes.
See, oh God, coming back to mushrooms, I've had some terrible moments.
Yeah.
With that.
See, and I haven't done mushrooms yet. I was the person that would hang out with my friends when they were on mushrooms. And then like when they were at their peak, I'd start fucking with them. But I would write down all the stuff. Like that's in my notebooks.
Right. Well, there's the 2 things. Like I got high on mushrooms, and then I had to hang out in my buddy's bathroom stall because it was a bad high. So I was tripping so hard that it was such a bad high that I just couldn't go anywhere.
Describe it. Because I know you remember everything on mushrooms.
Yeah. It was terrible. Like everything felt closer than it was. So I kept falling down. Like I went to go to grab the stall, and I would literally, my hand would like graze the door, and I would fall.
Oh, fuck.
And then I had to climb into the bathroom, and then I would just lay there. And then literally I remember playing basketball with Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I was playing basketball with them. I was just hanging out. And then I woke up
in the bathroom, in your mind.
They came in my mind, and they came over and they're like, "Dude, you okay?" And I'm like, "You guys play ball here too?" I was tripping nuts, and I think that was the last time I ever did mushrooms. But I was still at U of I. It was at U of I, right?
Yeah.
And the hard part is when you go visit your old friends, they have new friends now.
Uh-huh.
So you're cool, but these guys are way cooler.
Cooler, yep.
So they go, let's go to a pool party. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's go to a pool party. I don't know anybody, and no one gives a fuck who you are unless you're in a frat or if you go to U of I or if they know your friends, right?
Yep.
So I felt like such an outcast, and we're all drinking and whatnot, and I didn't have swim trunks.
Oh, perfect.
So he gave me a pair of his old soccer shorts.
So you were on mushrooms poking girls with your dick again.
Basically. Basically. And I don't know if you know this, but your dick is not very big on mushrooms at all.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So your dick is on the mushrooms too, and it just like retracts inside of your body?
Straight up turtle head. Straight up. It's terrible. You look like a little newborn baby.
Oh, that's funny.
And I'm standing there. I've got these soccer shorts on, these white soccer shorts on. And I go, dude, give me a towel, because I got in the pool, and back then you didn't really trim up your junk a whole lot. Like you're you just got out of high school.
Yeah, you don't know what you're doing.
What manscaping is nothing.
No,
I've got these white soccer shorts on, no underwear on. I'm standing there, and I've got this hand towel, and they rip it from me. And this one girl yells, "Ew, gross!" in front of all these people. I was so embarrassed.
At your pubes or at your dick?
No, not my dick. My dick is fine, but it was like pubes. You could see just a black hole right there. I was so embarrassed. Oh my God. Yeah. So
I love embarrassing moments.
Yeah, when it doesn't happen anymore.
I had a couple really good ones back in the day.
What's the most embarrassing?
Oh my God. What is the most embarrassing?
Got any more of these?
Yeah.
Nice, Paul.
Paul's amazing. Yeah. Well, I'll take one too. Might as well. Am I gonna have to bite the cap off again?
No,
You It's hard to do while you're podcasting.
I was going to say.
And I don't do any edits on my podcast. So you actually would hear the teeth grinding and opening the beer bottle.
Just one after the other.
God, it's hard to think what my most embarrassing moment was. I think and this parlays into the podcast you're going to be doing soon, which is going to be really cool. But my first embarrassing moment that I ever remember having was in second grade. That
I've got one in second grade too, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was wearing white. This was back in how old was I in second grade? It was early 90s. Yeah. So like that 80s style was still in. And I had white bicycle shorts on. Right. That were like long, like kind of the thing that all the girls are wearing again. That's the sound of Paul opening beers.
This is grassroots podcasting.
And if you can't get it with the table, Paul, I'll get it with my teeth because we know I can do that.
Here, I got keys.
Do you? Oh, there we go. Did you hear I did. Did you hear it drop?
That's called success.
Yay! The sound of success. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I was wearing these white bicycle shorts and was in art class, and I backed into a painting. And my whole ass was blue.
Nice.
And it was early in the day, and I was like, I remember thinking, either I can be embarrassed by this, or I can just make fun of the fact that my ass is blue. And I remembered the song Blue Moon. So I started singing the song Blue Moon.
Blue.
That wasn't out yet. That was way before. Blue Moon is like the song from the 60s.
Yeah, Blue Moon.
Some standing alone. Me and Brady are going to start a band.
So good.
But I remember singing that. And then I was like, all right, if this is what embarrassment is, I can handle it.
Sure.
And then I had a couple things in high school. God, what would have been the most embarrassing? It was probably getting caught. It was definitely getting caught doing sex stuff with my first boyfriend.
I love sex stuff.
Yeah.
Like making out or like sex stuff?
No, we were like...
Going for it.
Yeah. I wasn't having sex yet, but we were like going down on each other.
Whoa.
His parents caught me and him.
Oh.
And it was really awkward.
Did they walk in and go, what the shit?
Well, he was throwing a party. His parents were out of town.
So you thought.
And his parents did the thing that parents sometimes do, and they came back on the Saturday just to fuck with. I would
too.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
100%.
You would totally know your kid was having a party.
For sure.
And he lived on the lake, so we had all like been skinny dipping. There was like 30 of us there. Oh, it was great. Until that moment. Having a dad walk in on you as a girl who is not their daughter is actually almost worse.
I feel like I would have said to my son, hey, cut the shit, finish up.
Yeah. I know. If that would have been a totally different situation, if that would have been how it went down, but it's not how it happened. What do you have any you can think of offhand?
Like sexual stuff?
Mm-hmm. Why not? Since we're on the topic.
My parents didn't even care. No sexual funny stuff, really. Everything seemed to be pretty, it's pretty graphic. We won't go in there. No, I remember this is kind of dumb, but like I was in middle school. I used to wear glasses. I got LASIK done.
Uh-huh. Oh, shit. I've been wanting to get LASIK so bad.
Great. And we moved to San Jose from Chicago when I was younger. Mm-hmm. So we moved back and forth from Chicago to California like twice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I went to middle school in San Jose.
Okay.
Which basically, if you're around white people, you don't know what Filipino people are. You never really hung out with like Mexican people, like black people.
Yeah.
Talk about like culture shock.
Well, in the Midwest, there's not, like I've talked about that before. My high school had no diversity.
Zero. We had like one black guy and we called him Big Black because we could.
Yeah.
And super nice guy. But like I went to San Jose and it was like every race you could think of and like, and skater kids and like, anyways, I remember I was the best basketball player on the team. I was good. And I used to wear goggles though, and everyone used to make fun of me. So one game,
you wore goggles? Oh, because of LASIK?
No, because I couldn't wear my glasses and I didn't wear contacts, and I was in middle school.
Oh shit!
So back then I had to wear goggles,
like prescription goggles.
Yes, I know.
I didn't even know that was a thing because I started wearing contacts when I was 12.
So nerdy.
Holy
super
shit.
Fucking nerd.
That's hysterical.
I have a picture of it. It's awful. I couldn't even wear a baseball helmet because it wouldn't fit over my goggles. Yeah, I look like Bill Cartwright. I don't know if you remember him, or Horace Grant.
Oh God, that's
anyways,
embarrassing in itself.
Right. So my dad's in the stands, and we're playing against this other team, and Creighton. I remember Creighton. I don't know why I remember that. And they to throw the ball into me, and I hear 3, 2, 1, and I ripped my goggles off before that because I was embarrassed and just wasn't having a very good game. And they yelled 3, 2, 1, and I chucked that ball, and it hit the scoreboard, and there was like 3 minutes left in the game. And I remember looking over at my dad, squinting, and my dad just putting his head down like, I'm like, you did this. You brought me here. It felt like I was in Guantanamo Bay. I just felt like so out, like I was such a dork. I was such a dork.
I can only imagine how horrible that would have been.
Dude.
Good thing you left San Jose.
Oh, it was so bad. I remember this kid called me white bread, so I called him pumpernickel bread.
What was he? What race was he?
He was black.
Oh.
But I didn't want to say, the N-word.
This is back in the day, though, where you could because of where we grew up, and because my mom grew up on the south side of Chicago, like there was just a different sense of humor about race.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like now it's just not that way now.
No, now
we had like one black family in my Stoughton, Wisconsin high school, and then like one black girl in my grade who was technically mixed, but she was obviously the darkest person.
Right. But like, imagine being, coming from, I don't know, I was in 6th grade, 7th grade, and then you moved to San Jose.
Yeah.
And then, remember back then, they would bring you into a class that was already going on.
Yep.
And you're the new kid.
Yep.
And I had to go with my sister, and thank God I had a twin sister. I had a sister with me, the lessen the blow, but everyone loved her because she was a hot blonde chick. And then they all gave me fucking demon eyes. And then also I'm sitting there going, wait, what is that? Is that
trying to figure out like
Chinese person?
Yeah.
Or what is that? And I had no friends, zero. I got in so many fights. I remember one time, because we didn't have a lot of money, and we used to shop at the Emporium right by our house.
Yeah.
So my mom got us a couple shirts, some new shirts to go to school. Well, I'm in the hallway, and this girl, Yasmin, I don't know how I remember her name, has the same shirt on that I got on.
Fuck.
It's like a striped.
That's like an episode in Friends where
totally
Ross gets the
we both have the same shirt on. And now it turns into a thing because I'm the new kid. And everyone's standing around us, and she's like, take your fucking shirt off. And I'm like, I go, this is new. I got nothing else. Oh, it's the worst.
Oh my God.
It still gives me anxiety. I still, they hit me up, like friends of mine that I used to know, hit me up on Facebook, and I'm like, no.
Your time in San Jose was enough.
Oh, dude, fucking brutal.
Dude, I can't even imagine. Because I didn't change around schools a lot. I changed in 2nd grade, and then I just stayed in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But I was in North Carolina for a little bit before that.
Oh, okay.
And in the South, my best friend was Puerto Rican. One of my other best, there was more diversity in the South.
Yeah.
And I always think about that. I'm like, what would I have been like if I'd stayed in the South, or if I had been moved to Chicago instead of Wisconsin? But I had the coolest upbringing ever. My friends are so fucking awesome.
You know what though, because you're an only kid,
lonely child.
These beers are working.
Yeah.
You're an only child. Like me, when I grew up, my brother and sister wanted nothing to do with me. At all.
Your older ones?
My older brother, John.
And then your twin.
And then my twin, Heidi, wanted nothing to do with me growing up at all. They would throw parties in San Jose at our parents' place, and I'd be playing basketball down the street, and I'm like looking around going, where are all these cars fucking going? Right? And I would show up, and we had a pool in the back, and everyone's partying by the pool, and I would show up and go, Heidi, does Mom and Dad know you're having a party? She goes, Brady, leave, go to Jason's, go play basketball. And I'm like, what?
Oh, you were the odd man out.
I totally was, but whatever.
Do you have younger siblings too?
No, just my twin sister and older brother, yeah.
I always wanted an older brother, but most of my closest girlfriends have older brothers. So they kind of acquired me, whether they liked it or not.
Right.
But I enjoy, I'll talk to certain parents now, and, because it's kind of weird now living in LA and having friends that are starting to have kids.
Yeah,
because a lot of people do choose to just have one kid now.
Yeah,
because it's easier.
Or no kids.
Yeah, but I have a few different friends who are like, yeah, we're thinking about just having one kid because one kid is toteable. People refer to kids like they do with like not like you can equate a kid to a pet, but like one kid,
A pet.
one kid can
Go to your cage.
One kid can travel with you.
Sure.
2 kids is you can't do that.
See, I don't know. I think if I had a kid, which I don't know if I'll have kids, but if I had a kid, I'd probably want to have 2 kids so they could get along with each other.
Yeah.
But then I saw the Menendez whole episode, and I don't know if I want that.
Well, and I loved being an only kid because it made me have to be super social.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on whatever personality you end up with.
Did you grow up with more guy friends or more girlfriends?
Probably equal.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
I don't know. Girls that have more guy friends than girlfriends just kind of, I just don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't even have girlfriends now except for comedian friends.
Right.
That's it. And we're comedians, so we'll see each other. But it's not like, hey, let's go hang out.
Well, and
Like I've known Nicole Amy for a long time. She's the only person like her and I will go get lunch and hang out.
Yeah.
You know, but that's about it.
I have guy friends like me and Chris Kershaw, who you're going to be with.
Yeah.
We'll go out and do stuff every once in a while. And I have like I have certain guy friends that I've always been like I've been close with, and I'll go out and like have dinner and stuff with them.
Right.
But most of my closest friends are girls.
Okay.
A lot of my drinking buddies are guys,
Right.
or girls.
Right.
But I've always been. I don't really care.
What do you have more fun with? Drinking with your buddies or drinking with your girlfriends? A little bit of both?
Totally depends.
Yeah, it depends on who's listening.
Depends on what's around. Depends on who's listening right now. Exactly. But it kind of just depends on my mood. I don't know. Last night we had one guy friend over and one of my best girlfriends over, and the 4 of us just sat and like watched shit and drank at our house.
And it had a ton of vodka.
It had a ton of vodka. So I was telling Brady earlier. We
What's the
each
vodka
had
called?
like Hollywood vodka.
Bam.
It's a light vodka, which
Is it potato based?
I don't even
charcoal
know.
based?
It says it's gluten free. I think all vodka's gluten free, right?
Like honestly,
I don't even know why that's a marketing thing for any sort of liquor. Like
I've never showed up to a bar and be like, "Ooh,
take your gluten free vodka."
Is that non-GMO, gluten based?
I've never cared about where a spirit comes from.
I don't care either.
At all.
I love that you call it spirits too.
It is a spirit.
I know.
But we each drank like a bottle of this stuff last night, and I felt fine and woke up at like 9 this morning and was totally fine, which I don't know if that's something to be proud of or something to like question.
Well, I don't know. Obviously, this shit is pretty good because if I drank a whole fucking bottle of vodka by myself, I don't know if I'd be here right now.
Well, and what I do is like when I have good booze bottles, I save those and those become flower vases because I'm not a...
That's smart. See, my girlfriend does candles. She'll cut them in half and then make candles out of them.
Oh, that's smart.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't really use them because if they find out about it, they can, sue you, I guess, or some shit.
Why?
I don't know. That's what she says.
What does she make them and sell them?
Yeah. For like Christmas gifts and stuff.
Okay. Well, I didn't know anybody could sue you for that.
If they find out.
Isn't that what Etsy is based off of? Just people like cutting up other people's things and making new things?
Basically. It's almost like my art. People could take like a screenshot of it, make it a canvas and give it to someone.
Yeah. How did you get into art?
I don't know. I got really...
That's a strange question, but...
Oh, well, I don't know. I got into it because I just got bored. I just need another creative outlet.
Yeah.
And I always loved pop art and street art. And I loved...
Me too.
I just think it's so cool and like put headphones on and just I like getting my hands dirty and I'm not really good at building shit, but I can paint some shit. So I started like 5 years ago. I bought these spray cans and paints and I just left them in my closet. And then one day I took them out and just started painting stuff. And I didn't really know what I wanted to paint, but I just started doing it.
Yeah.
And then I just started finding, it's like comedy.
Yeah.
You just start finding what you think is funny and then you just kind of just keep tweaking it and keep moving it and keep molding it. And then after a while, you've got a painting. And then the first couple paintings that I made, I sold. And I was like, maybe I'm onto something here. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I used to paint for which medium do you use?
I use acrylic and then I do spray paint, charcoal, and paint pens, and yeah, that's about it.
I would love to have like a drinking painting day with you.
Sure.
I haven't painted in a long time, but I used to paint with oils.
Oils are tough.
They're really tough.
Because you got to let them sit for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And I don't have that kind of patience.
Nope.
And if something ain't working, I'm spray painting right.
But I would love to just fuck around with some stuff.
Yeah.
If like, do you do it in your house?
Yeah, I do. Well, I have a nice big patio, which is very nice.
Dude, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, it's great.
I have to put that on the agenda because there's Big Irish Jay. I still have to do a high spa day with him. So maybe
Big Irish Jay.
So maybe this can be like a weekend of things that we all plan.
You should do like a little YouTube channel of just creative comics.
Just fucking shit up with comics.
Yeah.
So, all right, this is something that we talked about that I did not know on the way to the podcast studio, but you auditioned for SNL.
Yeah.
Which you're the first guest I've had that has actually gone through that process.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I want to kind of go into that because it's really interesting and hard.
It was the coolest experience I've ever had in my life. I actually got to do it with one of my best buddies, Santino. You know, Andrew. He's been trying to get on there too, and he's had, I think, a little more success than I did. I think he actually met with Lauren, which was cool. Him and Rhino Flanagan, Ryan O'Neal. Yeah, I've been trying since I was 27, and sending in a tape and sending in tape, and then Aristotle, who's on Goat Face now on Comedy Central, who's one of the most talented guys I've ever met. He said, dude, just put a tape together. And I said, I don't know. And he goes, well, what do you have? And I said, I got about 11 impressions and about 4 characters. And I started doing my impressions for him. And he goes, okay, we're going to put a tape together. These are great. And so I did 11 impressions of doing characters doing, or 11 impressions of people doing a commercial for bubble wrap. So celebrities.
I want to see that.
Yeah, it's great. Celebrities. So like it was like Mark Wahlberg. He's like, of course it's fucking bubble wrap. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course I know it's bubble wrap. No, I got this, Donnie. It's okay. I know it's fucking bubble wrap. You okay? Like, and then I would do, like McConaughey. I'd do Ryan Reynolds. I would do
McConaughey.
He's like, all right, okay, yeah. All right.
I love it.
And then there it is. And then I would do Ryan Reynolds, where he's like, well, I guess we'll just have to put everything in bubble wrap. And then I would do Bruce Willis, and I do Ben Affleck, and I do Ryan Gosling, and I just went down the gamut of all of them doing bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And then I did 3 characters. I did this guy named Cuban Reuben. Everything he says, he's just trying to order, but it sounds like he's being gay. So he's like, excuse me, hi, can I get some peanuts? Can I get some peanuts? And he's just trying to get peanuts because he's hungry. He's sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
And then I did another guy named Terry who works in a toll booth. Secretly, he wants to be a Chippendale dancer, but he's got to do his day job.
Yeah.
So a car comes by and he's like, "What's up, man? 350." And he takes the stuff, and then when the car drives by, he plays the music and he just starts dancing. So it went good, and I sent that in. And this was my last hurrah because I was leaving LA. I was kind of done, and I was going to.
How long ago was this?
4 years ago.
Okay.
And I was moving to Austin, Texas, because it was, something new. I was thinking about getting into barbecue because I love barbecue, and maybe I don't know, I just really was looking for something different because I've been doing this for so long. And then my agent hits me up and he goes, do you have your bags packed? And I was like, yeah, because I didn't tell him I'm moving, but I was like, how does he know I'm moving? I didn't tell him. He goes, because they want you to go to New York. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm like, oh my God. And my mom comes up the stairs because she was helping me pack. And I go, I'm going to New York. And she goes, what? I go, yeah, they love my tape. And she goes, are you fucking with me? I'm like, no. So anyways.
She just freaked out.
Yeah. And then long story short, I get there, I get to New York, and it was the best experience ever. You go into the sound booth, and I give it because I have some music that I want to play for Terry, this toll booth guy.
Yeah.
And which I didn't play, which is during my audition.
Oh yeah. So I didn't play it?
No, they did that to fuck you up.
They didn't play it.
Didn't play it.
Do they do that to people?
Yes, to see how you react.
Bah.
So I took my phone out and I put it on the bench, and I put the microphone on the bench, and I played it that way. Anyway, so right before I'm about to go out on stage, they go, all right, Brady, you ready? And I said, yeah. My knees started buckling so hard. I was shaking. I'm
sure.
And then I get on the stage where every fucking celebrity you've ever known, everyone that you've ever looked up to is sat right there. And they go, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And I was like, all right. And I fucking crushed it. I felt so good. And I knew I crushed it because I heard some people laughing when I was doing like Bruce Willis.
And how many people are in the room?
Everyone. All the writers and Lorne Michaels.
Well, I like to paint a picture because a lot of people don't know what it is like to go into an audition room. There's so many different types of audition rooms. Yeah. You have the type where there's just one person watching you, which is always interesting. You have the type where there's like the big wigs, you know, the multiple directors or whatever. So you had Lorne Michaels, all the writers, and the cast.
Yeah, and then there's a TV right on the side of the stage. So basically, they're not even really looking at you. They're looking at the TV to see what you look like on TV.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I got done, and I put water all over me. I ripped my shirt off. I was dancing for the toll booth guy because that was my closer. And then they were like, okay, thank you. And I was like soaking wet, and I slipped a little bit and grabbed my phone.
Shit.
And then I got done. My mom's like, how'd it go? And I go, I'm going to be on SNL.
And I
didn't get it.
But you were like one of the top, were one of the top situations, right?
I was top 4.
Top 4.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know. I was talking to my entertainment lawyer, and he knows a lot of people, and he goes, I would call him up a week later. He goes, dude, still in it, top 10. I'm like, fuck. Then he called me up again, and he goes, dude, you're still in it, top 8, top 6, top 4.
And you're like,
and then I called him, and he didn't call me back, and I go, I'm not in it. And he goes, nah.
oh
go,
my God.
Fuck.
That's such a, and it's so tough with any process like this, because when you get to the almost point, it's already like a really good point.
Yep.
And something to be proud of. But of course you want to get.
Yeah. I mean, I had sketches on sketches ready to go. I was all ready to go. I thought me and Santino had a good shot.
You just need to start Brady TV. Well, put all your sketches out on your own.
I know. Well, 2019, I got some good stuff coming. So,
what's some of the highlights that you've had in your comedy career so far? Because I feel like that's something a lot of people totally overlook.
I'd say SNL, but the problem is you can't. There's no trophy for last place.
Yeah.
So, but I have my set list, and that's kind of my. I put it like a I framed it and shit. I'd say SNL is definitely my number 1, and anything other than that is whatever icing on the cake. But
yeah. When you were prepping for these characters, because I know we were talking about some character stuff on the way here, because I have a lot of friends that do characters. That's what I originally thought I was going to do when I was starting with Second City.
Yeah.
I like to do really weird characters, which is odd because my stand-up isn't that at all.
Right.
But how did you come up with these characters? Because that's a fun process that a lot of people don't get to talk about.
I don't know. I came up with Cuban Ruben because I worked with a guy at this restaurant. This Cuban guy, and he's like, "You're crazy. What's happening?"
Yeah.
And I thought he was really funny, so I just kind of came up with Cuban Ruben. And then I started messing with him, and you couldn't really understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
At all times, he's like, "Come on, let me get some muffins." And you're like, "What?" And he was like, "He wants the muffins." And I'm like, okay. So I was like, that's funny. And then I was talking to Aristotle, and he goes, what if he says, like, can I get some peanuts? And he goes, what does peanuts sound like? I'm like, peanuts. And he goes, there we go. Boom, peanuts. Aristotle's a genius when it comes to this stuff. And he actually helped me because I went, because
was he up for SNL back in the day too?
No, he just put my tape together and then really helped me, because then I got a call back and I had to go to iOS when it was still open here in Hollywood.
Yep.
And I had a call back there. And I crushed it. I fucking crushed it. And we got done. He's like, dude, you fucking killed it. And if it weren't for Aristotle, I don't think I would have gotten a call back. Or
crazy.
The guy's great. He's gonna be huge.
He just was advocating for you.
Yeah, he's just a fan of mine, and I'm a fan of his, and just like I'm a fan of yours, and we're all talented people. You just got to.
That's what I say. I'm like, we just have to, collaborate and work with each other.
Totally.
Because that's a thing that I've always, like, if somebody's really good at something that I'm not, like characters.
Yeah.
Like, I love seeing Dana Moon do her characters.
Yeah, and characters are hard because, you got to work on them for a while. But then sometimes people are like, all right, you got to come up with a character in a week. And you're like, I don't even know how this person walks.
Yeah, I know. I did the CBS diversity sketch callbacks like 2 years ago, I think it was. And I had to come up with characters for the first time in.
Which is not really your thing.
No, it used to be.
But,
But I hadn't done it in years. So it was like so out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So I tried to create characters that were based on my actual stand-up. Because I was like, well, at least I want these people to know what my sense of humor is on stage.
Sure.
If they can't I felt like my audition was good, but like even I was like, these characters could be so much better because I hadn't worked with characters in so long.
Yeah, and they want them right away. And like I was, after the SNL thing, I was up for this show for True TV, and they were kind of doing like a sketch thing.
Yeah.
They're like, come up with some characters. We need them 2 days.
And you're like, I have to manifest humans in 2 days.
And I came up with a bunch of characters that were trash. But I came up with one guy. His name's Vito Vitalante. And all he knows is how to roll dough. Right. But he goes in for a temp job. And so like they give him a stapler and they're like, just put these, papers together. And he does the stapler and he just starts rolling the stapler. Right. Yeah. And then he gets done. He goes, so what do you think? What do you think? And they're like, we'll let you know. And he goes, just want to let you know, I don't know how to read. And he walks out. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought that was pretty good, but it's hard. It's fucking hard.
Dude, it is. I mean, it's like creating a person.
Yeah.
I do that like whenever, like, have you ever seen the show The Mick? Did you
I
ever
love
watch
her.
it?
She's great, but I've never seen
Caitlin Olsen.
Yeah,
oh my God,
so
she's
funny.
a genius. And The Mick was like my new favorite show, and it didn't get renewed for a third season.
Yeah.
And I was watching her talk about it afterwards because you don't realize how much work goes into a series or a character or whatever it is.
Even an episode.
An episode, like it's like 2 years of prep before you even get a chance to get something considered.
Right. And then people break it down and then you have to come back.
Yep.
Yep.
And so just having been through some of the stuff that I've been through with some of my series myself and like been on holding deals and different stuff, it sounds really good on paper, but at the end of it, you're like, what the fuck was that?
Right.
I look at these people and I'm like, oh, I really feel for them because when you create a person,
right.
you become like that fake person's friend.
Totally.
You're like the god of these people that you made. And when they don't get to actually become real, you're like, it's like watching them die.
It's the worst. and then like I was talking about like Mo Collins on Mad TV.
Yeah.
I love her character that she does for Stuart. She plays the mom. And then I did an art show with her and I'm like, so how's it going? She's like, I can't get work to save my life. I'm like, you're the best. How is that fucking possible?
Yeah.
You're the best.
I don't know. This town is so strange in that way, but you just have to keep doing it.
I know. God, every time I try to quit, they keep fucking sucking me back in.
Don't quit and move to Texas. Please don't move to Texas.
No, I got some good things in the hopper, so
yeah, I
can't go anywhere.
So speaking of good things that you have coming up, because we're wrapping this up,
sure.
What do you have coming up tour-wise or some dates that you can throw out there for people?
I'm doing I told you, Comedy Bar in Nashville for Valentine's Day. And then I'll be at the Comedy Spot in Scottsdale in March. And then I have my podcast. I'm starting my own podcast.
What is the name of it?
The First with Brady Matthews.
And
I'll be doing that next Wednesday. And then,
with this network.
Yes, with this network.
Yes.
And then you will be on it as well. And then we can talk about you.
About other
and
firsts?
Very less of me.
Okay. So give people your social media so everybody can find you.
Instagram at Brady Matthews 32.
32 was his football number because he's actually a football superstar.
Thank you.
Was that your football number? I don't know. Was it?
Yeah, very good. I was like, how the fuck did you know that?
I just fucking made that up.
Jesus. And then Brady Matthews 13 on Twitter. And then if you want to see some of my art, BradyMatthewsArt.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to make some art together.
Okay.
We're going to make that a pact.
Yeah.
And you can find me at NPH Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the podcast at Future Role Model on Instagram or at Role Model Pod on Twitter. And you can follow the Comedy Pop-Up Network at Comedy Pop-Up or at CPU Podcasts. Follow all the people that are putting amazing podcasts out on this network because they're all really great.